Welcome to Daily Devotion with Ken Gurley. Devotions designed to inspire you on your daily walk with God. Here's your host, Ken Gurley.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good Wednesday morning to each of you. Just in case you woke up this morning, you just didn't know what day it was. I've been there. I have awakened at times and not known what day it was, not known where I was. Yeah, I've been there. Now, this is not today. I am pumped. Because we've got a great subject today that I can't even explain until I get to the very end of this thing. Got a pickle jar. Yeah, it's a good one, folks. It's a good one. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's a blessing to each and all of you. Thank you for being a part of our daily devotion family. We have met here Monday through Friday, whether it's daylight savings time or standard time. We have met here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Central for 5 big years. And what a privilege to be a part of this with you and to feel like we know each other. You guys know, you wake up every morning, Monday through Friday, got to look at the same face, got to listen to the same voice, and you keep doing it. I don't know, either you enjoy doing it or you enjoy punishing yourself. One of the two. I don't know. Or you just love to come to the chat room that we have going on here. We've got the best people. 3 platforms, X, YouTube, Facebook, in reverse order of their ages, not the people, but when we went on there. And it's good to see you. No one leaves life untested. No. You're all going to go through a testing. What a testing is described by Jesus in the Olivet Discourse. You find that in Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. It's in those passages that Jesus spoke of a time of testing, a time of trouble to come. His words would have an immediate impact on those who heard them, that generation that would live to see the destruction of Jerusalem that Jesus prophesied. His words also had a long-term impact on those who would be alive at the second coming of the Lord. The apostles would later join with Jesus in warning believers, not just in Jerusalem, but across Asia Minor, Europe, that a time of testing would come upon them. Testing. What a time of testing Jesus described. Nation against nation, war, commotions. Everybody's doing. I'm sorry. I started thinking of the word commotion, and that just reminded me of locomotion, and that just reminded me of everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. All right. Got to get my mind back on this. But wars and commotions, earthquakes in diverse places, famines, pestilence, signs in the heaven, persecution, martyrdom. We're seeing it. What's going on in Syria right now is staggering those of Christian faith. There's a testing coming on. We're being tested. I think about the trials people are going through. Just in this church, in our daily devotion family, testings, sicknesses, people doing war with the storms in their life. People just going through times of adversity and trial. On and on it goes. On it goes. The fury of the testings that we're facing. We struggle to hang on. We look at the tempest and the storm and think, why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve it? But Peter said, 1 Peter 4, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing has happened. It's not strange. The testing is going to come. In this life you shall have. In this world you shall have tribulation. It comes to us all. It tests our mettle. Not M-E-T-A-L, but M-E-T-T-L-E. It tests what we're made of. Comes to reveal the weaknesses within us. Comes to remind us we're just dust. Oh, there might be some of you who feel stronger than your storm. You might brag about how no testing will ever come upon you to cause you to fail, complain, want to give up. I just applaud you, but I also prophesy you just hadn't lived long enough yet. Because there'll come a trial, there'll come a day that'll buckle your knees like it did Job. And it will test you. And in the storm, it's so easy to get confused in this crucible of suffering. So easy to get mixed up and you don't know what's going on. I read a story a while back about a church who decided to find its dropouts. Those people who just stopped coming to church. They made a list, checked it twice, went out to find them. Story's largely the same. Church interfered with other activities. Church wasn't relevant. Church wasn't needed. Now the kids were grown. They got in a little feud and a fuss and match with this one and that one. And don't you know the enemy's a divider? That's what he wants. But one man's story was different. It just stood out of all of the examination of church dropouts. When asked why he didn't come to church, he said it was the Sunday newspaper that stopped him from coming to the church. He said, I read the news. It's an awful world out there. There are a lot of diseases I just don't understand. Don't know why so many wars are out there. How families fall apart. Children running through the streets with handguns. World's falling apart and the church can't do a thing about it. So he said, I went to church for a while, but the world got worse. When my wife died, I decided to sit here at home, watch everything fall apart and wait my turn. So I don't go to church anymore because the church has nothing to say about a world that's crumbling. I would say this to that gentleman, the church cannot stop the time of testing. The church cannot stop the trouble that comes to this world. Boy, being a part of the church can sure help you get through that time of testing. If you let me, I want to help you today. That each test is a testimony in the making. Hey, psst, psst, psst. Pastor, you got a pickle jar behind you. And the name of this has got a pickle jar. Are you ever going to get to the pickle jar? I am. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'm going to get to that pickle jar. I'm going to. Each test is a testimony in the making. What's a testimony? You really can't have been raised in this thing and not remember testimony services. Can I get just a few hands raised out in the chat room right now? I'm not even sure I missed testimony service. I'm going to be frank. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even sure that I missed testimony service. Oh. There was a book written years ago called The Greeting of the Church. And the late Findlay Edge gave 3 reasons churches stopped doing testimony services. You ready to hear them? Okay, let's see if you can figure these out. Okay, you got an idea? Why did they stop doing testimony services? Here were the top 3 reasons. Number 1, same people testified every time. That's pretty good. Number 2, same people gave the same testimony every time. Yeah, let me just stop and say, I think if preachers have to get a new message and if singers need to sing a new song, I will sing a new song to the Lord. We ought to have a fresh testimony. Okay, just my little, I'll get off my soapbox. And then number 3, the testimonies shared had happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I would add one more reason. One more reason that I watched testimony services disappear. We tended to glorify the testing more than discovering the testimony. I've been going through struggles. I've been going through trials. I'm laying at death's door. I want you to know something. God promises that in each time of testing, there is a testimony in the making. In other words, something good can come out of the midst of this problem. God works all things together for good. Oh, I hear the whisper of unbelief saying no one can do anything about it, like that guy staying home from church. Church can't do one thing about it. I know the devices of the enemy, doling out doubt to anyone that will hear it. Maybe we need to shout louder than the storm that God is able to turn our tests into testimonies. Believe it. Get ready to testify of what good God has done. In the midst of his warnings about the coming test in the Olivet Discourse, Jesus gives 3 ways to make certain that a test is turned into a testimony. You ready? Let's go through them. First of all, Luke 21:14, settle it therefore in your heart. Don't meditate beforehand what you're going to answer. One translation says, make up your mind right now not to worry. You want to turn a testing into a testimony, refuse to worry. Worry is a tool of the enemy. Tens of millions of Americans suffer from anxiety disorders, preoccupation with worry. It usually follows these words, if only, or what if only I'd done this, only I'd not opened my mouth, if only I'd not gone down that street, if only. They bind us to the past. What if this happened or that happened? What if my job pays out? What if someone, what if I'm left alone? What if? If onlys and what ifs. The commonality is the word if. I love that story in The Hiding Place. Corrie ten Boom gives her testimony, and yeah, it did happen years ago. She tells of the German invasion, their home of Holland. One night when there was bombing and shelling happening all around the house where she and her sister lived, Corrie couldn't sleep. Hearing her sister in the kitchen, she decided to go downstairs and join her. Long into the night, after the bombing ceased and all was silent, they returned to their beds. Corrie returned to her bed only to find that her pillow, right where her head had been laying, was pierced with a sizable piece of sharp metal shrapnel from an exploding bomb. Beginning to cry out, she realized that going downstairs to the kitchen had saved her life. She rushed to tell her sister, saying, Betsy, if I hadn't heard you in the kitchen. To this, her saintly sister interrupted, said, don't say it, Corrie. There are no ifs in God's world, and the center of his will is our safety. You remember what Corrie ten Boom said? God's will is our hiding place. My favorite psalm, the 27th Psalm, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. In the secret place he shall hide me. Uncertainty will lead to certainty. Look at a second way the Lord will help you turn your test into a testimony. Luke 21:19, in your patience possess you your souls. By standing firm, one translation says, you'll gain life. You're not going to worry, and you're going to determine to stand firm. God can't transform a test into a testimony if you refuse to stand firm. Somebody's got to be like those 3 Hebrew children. Lord can save us, but if not, still not going to worship that idol. It's when we determine to stand firm that God shows himself mighty. Elijah stood firm at Mount Carmel and the fire fell. David stood firm before Goliath and the giant fell. Paul stood firm before the Roman Empire and it fell. God needs people who will stand firm. The enemy knows it. His most powerful weapons against us are fear and discouragement, and both will cause us to tremble, or worse yet, to turn away. Simon Peter said, resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that your brothers throughout the world are undergoing the same kind of sufferings. How do you stand firm when you feel like you're jello within? Only one way. Make sure you're holding on to the rock of ages. Lean on him, not your own understanding. Stand firm in the faith. Luke 21, and when you see these things come to pass, look up. Lift up your heads. Your redemption draws nigh. You want to turn your test into a testimony. Here's the third way. Elevate your vision. Don't look around. Look up. Don't look at the headlines like that guy did on the Sunday morning papers. You see all of the evil taking place in this world, the doublespeak of political parties. It's Orwell's Animal Farm all over again. It's easy to look around and then look down. But Jesus said, when you look around and see all that's going on, look up. Look up. I look away to Jesus, and he tells me to say, oh, I love this. Help's on the way. Your redemption is drawing nigh. The night's almost over. It's soon past. Look up. Your testing is about to be turned into a testimony. What about that pickle jar, Pastor? Here we go. I read a story recently that a man told about his dad. He said as a child, his father had a large pickle jar that sat on the floor beside his dresser. When his father would get ready for bed, he would empty his pockets of coins, toss them into the pickle jar. And as a boy, he could remember the merry jingle of falling coins into that jar. When the jar was full, it was a big day. His dad would sit at the kitchen table and they would roll coins before placing them into a cardboard box. And he and his dad would then take the box to the bank. And along the way, his dad would say things like, son, you're not always going to be nailed to the occupation that I have. Those coins are going to keep you out of the mill that I've been working in, son. You're going to do better than me. This old town's not going to hold you back. When they got to the bank, his father would slide the box over the counter to the teller and he would proudly say, deposit this in my son's college fund. He'll never work at the mill all of his life like me. His dad would celebrate. He would go to an ice cream shop. He would buy son an ice cream. Then he would hold on to the change receipt and say, when we get home, we're going to start filling that jar again. You're going to get to college, not on trust funds, but on pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. But you're going to get there. I want to see to it. The years passed, and the young man did go off to college, finish school. And once while visiting his parents, he used the phone in his parents' bedroom and he noticed the pickle jar. It wasn't there anymore. Because that old pickle jar had served its purpose. It had lifted this young man's vision to what lay beyond that old mill town. The young man married. He told his wife about the pickle jar, how his dad, a man of few words, had taught him so much about life through that jar. Even the summer his dad was laid off from the mill, not a single dime was taken out of that jar. The couple would go on and have a daughter. And the first Christmas after their daughter was born, they went home to that mill town, spent the time with his parents. And after dinner, his wife laid their daughter down in the parents' bedroom for a nap. She returned, took her husband by the hand, and said, come here. They walked down the hallway to his parents' bedroom, and standing beside the dresser was an old pickle jar with lots of coins in it. He reached into his pocket, and he pulled out coins and dropped them into the jar. That pickle jar was a symbol of hope, that in tough times, don't you dare look around. You elevate your vision. There's a better day coming. Where's your pickle jar? Where's your hope that we're moving from darkness to light? Where's your hope that tomorrow is going to be brighter than today? Whatever you're going through right now. Daily Devotion family, whatever you're going through. God will one day show you why. But for now, 3 steps. Refuse to worry. Determine, I am going to stand firm. And then get that pickle jar and say, I'm preparing for a better day by elevating my vision. That one day I'm going to leave this old pit, and one day I'm going to get out of this situation, and I'll be better. Do you got a pickle jar? Yes. Let God give you a testimony for the testing. You need to share that with someone. Share that with someone. Like, follow on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. And check out KenGurley.com. And thank you for downloading these, sharing these with others. KYCC in just a few moments. You can jump over there on their website, kycc.com, download the app, and hear the broadcast over there. Proud of you guys. Go get a pickle jar. Let's get some testimonies going and see some great things happen. God bless. Share with everybody. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Thank you for sharing in Daily Devotion with Ken Gurley. We pray this ministry has been a source of encouragement and strength to you. Please be mindful that your financial support enables us to meet with you each day. To give a donation or connect with us, visit our website at kengurley.com. There you will also find the latest books, podcasts, and resources. Blessed 90 Days to Change Your World is Pastor Gurley's latest book. You can get your copy of this life-changing book at kengurley.com. Every way until we meet again.